Hello everyone. Today, we'll explore the fascinating concept of gravitation. Gravity is the force that pulls objects towards each other. But what exactly is this invisible force, and how does it work? Let's find out. Have you ever wondered why objects fall to the ground or why planets orbit the sun? The answer lies in the universal law of gravitation. The universal law of gravitation states that every object in the universe attracts every other object with a force that is proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. This force acts along the line joining the centers of the two objects. Now, let's dive deeper into the mathematics behind this fascinating law. Let's consider two objects, A and B, with masses m and m, separated by a distance d. The force of attraction between them, represented by F, can be calculated using the universal law of gravitation. F is equal to g(mm) upon d square. Here, g is the universal gravitational constant, which has a value of 6.673 times 10 to the power minus 11 nm square upon kg square. The universal law of gravitation successfully explains several phenomena that were once believed to be unconnected. It explains the force that binds us to the Earth, the motion of the Moon around the Earth, the motion of planets around the Sun, and even the tides caused by the Moon and the Sun. But what happens when an object falls freely under the influence of gravity? Well, this is where the concept of acceleration due to gravity comes into play. The acceleration produced in a freely falling object due to the force of gravity is known as the acceleration due to gravity, denoted by the symbol g. This acceleration can be calculated using the formula g is equal to gm upon r square, where m is the mass of the Earth and r is the radius of the Earth. Now, let's put our math skills to the test and derive the acceleration due to gravity using the universal law of gravitation. To derive the acceleration due to gravity, we can use the equation F is equal to ma and the universal law of gravitation, that is F is equal to gmm upon r square. So, gmm upon r square is equal to ma. By cancelling m on both sides, we get A is equal to gm upon r square is equal to g. When an object falls under gravity, it undergoes free fall motion with constant acceleration. The equations of motion apply to this situation. V is equal to u plus at, s is equal to ut plus a half at square, and v square is equal to u square plus 2as. For free fall, A is equal to g is equal to 9.8 meter per second square. When an object is dropped, its initial velocity, u, is 0, and the acceleration, a, is equal to plus g. When an object is projected upwards, the acceleration, a, is equal to g, and it reaches its maximum height when the velocity, v, becomes 0. Have you ever wondered why some objects feel heavier than others? The answer lies in the concept of mass. Mass is a measure of an object's inertia, representing the matter present in it. Mass remains the same everywhere in the universe and is measured in kilograms, kg. The force of attraction between the Earth and an object is called the weight of the object, represented by W is equal to m times g. Weight can change from one place to another or from one planet to another. Its unit is the Newton, N. The normal force acting on a surface due to the weight of an object placed on that surface is called thrust. Its unit is the Newton, N. Pressure is the force per unit area, and its unit is the Pascal, Pa. All liquids and gases are considered fluids because they can flow. The pressure exerted by a fluid is transmitted in all directions. The upward force exerted by a fluid on a body is known as upthrust or buoyancy. The magnitude of the buoyant force depends on the density of the fluid. Let's conduct a simple experiment to understand buoyancy better. Consider a wooden block, A, and two beakers, one filled with tap water, B1, and the other with salty water, B2. The buoyant force exerted in B2 is greater than in B1 because the density of the water in B2 is higher due to the dissolved salt. Have you ever wondered why some objects float while others sink? Whether an object floats, sinks, or remains partially submerged depends on the densities of the object and the fluid. If the density of the object is less than the fluid, it will float. If the density of the object is greater than the fluid, it will sink. If the densities are equal, the object will remain partially submerged and partially above the water. According to Archimedes' principle, when a body is immersed fully or partially in a fluid, it experiences an upward force equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by it. But Archimedes' principle isn't just a theoretical concept, it has numerous practical applications in our daily lives, such as in the design of ships and submarines, in lactometers to determine the purity of milk, and in hydrometers to determine the density of liquids. We hope that you have understood the topic. You can now study chapter notes, watch video lectures and solve MCQ tests of this chapter on Eduref to ensure you score well in your school exams. And that's not all. You also get amazing courses for maths, science, English, Hindi, and much more for class 9. Thank you.